what are some of the mistakes that they make? Like the biggest obstacles they face are problems. Is it just improperly balanced feed, or is there something else?
Well, so first off, a producer on a soy-free feed is they jump into it assuming that the chicken's going to grow at the same rate as a soy-based feed. They get their chickens, they're all happy, and they get their soy-free feed, and 8 weeks later, they've got 2.5 pound, 3 pound chickens, and because they just went into it blindly, assuming that all feeds are created equal, and those birds are going to look, they're going to be that 5 and 6 pound roly-poly chicken at 8 weeks, and it doesn't happen that way. So, the first biggest mistake is making that assumptions that the chicken is going to grow at the same rate or as fast as what they're used to in the past. Secondly, is they don't compensate for the feed deficiencies. There's a lot of poorly formulated soy-free feeds on the market out there, and the grower doesn't know this. I mean, this is not something that the farmer is going to fully comprehend, but being able to identify the deficiencies in the growth pattern and working with someone that's knowledgeable, can help work through it. But, just not compensating correctly for the feed deficiencies, when you go to a soy-based by adding, supplemental ingredients. Some people have great success with, hard boiling cracked eggs or eggs that are unsaleable and sprinkling that on top of the feed. And that's a huge boost to chickens that are on that soy-free feeds.
Okay.
The other thing is the producers don't understand is to make a good soy-free feed, you need at least 4 protein sources, and they need to be 4 protein sources that do not come from the same category of feed or the same species. If you're using a legume, maybe you need, like a pea or a bean, maybe you need to use something else like linseed meal, looking at some fish and some crab meal to get your methionine levels up. But to make a good soy-free feed, no matter who you are, you need at least 4 protein sources to get some type of an appropriate balances. And that's 4 proteins from not the same species or category of plant or animal. You need to diversify it. And this is even true of soy-based formulas. We know that when we take a soy-based formula and we add alternative proteins to it, that the bird's performance goes up significantly. Diversifying a diet is always going to be a good thing if done correctly.
That kind of brings us to one of the points of our call today, our talk is, so you've been dealing with this soy-free issue for a long time. I remember, we published some of the trials in APA, and you present on it all the time and talk to people all the time. All those problems are top of mind, but what has Futrell done now to address this problem? You have a new product or two on the market?
The light bulb in my head came on, and I found one last missing ingredient that I found to be very palatable by the chicken, and that is sesame meal. Sesame seed meal, after the oil's been pressed out of it, is a very high protein. It'll run 43 to 48% protein. So when I combine that with the field peas and the linseed meal for the omega-3s and the fish and the crab meal, I've been able to design a protein supplement from diversified sources, five different diversified sources, that has a very good palatability. The birds appear to eat it readily, except for the Cornish cross. They're a little bit slow. They're performing on it at nearly an equal rate as a soy-based diet. We can kind of count on, if you're going to finish your Cornish cross at 6 or 7 or 8 weeks, we might need an extra 4 or 5 days or a week to finish it with the soy-free protein pellet. We may not. We're seeing some field trials where they're finishing at the same time on the same amount of feed. So it's been quite encouraging, to bring this to the market. And I know people have been looking for, that perfect soy-free protein replacement. And this is the best that I've been able to find so far.